Hello, design students. Today I'm going to show you how to do one of the principles of design, which is pattern. So this is a tutorial in Photoshop. So first off, pattern is a design in which lines, shape, form, and colors are repeated. Um, the part that is repeated is called a motif. Okay, so for example, we've got this flower motif repeated over and over again in this tile, or the spiral motif in this one. Okay, so patterns can be regular or irregular. These two patterns are very regular. One uses the idea of mirror imaging, okay, with the tiles. Each of the tiles has one side is the mirror image of the other, okay, creating a very symmetrical design. So with the tiles each has the motif or design printed on it, and then when you put them next to each other, they create a bigger pattern. These are simply repeated over and over again, okay, and they are not symmetrical, okay, so they're not the same on both sides. They're a radial pattern, actually, radial balance here. Okay, and just repeat it over and over. And then the leopard spots are in a regular pattern. You can see it's got similar shapes and colors, but they change slightly as the pattern, goes on. All right, so we're going to close this up and we're going to go to making our new file. We're going to stick with the 3x3 module or new document that we have been using. We're going to go with new file. We're going to call this one pattern. And we're going to make the width 3, the height 3, and the resolution should be at 300 resolution. The color mode should be RGB, 8-bit. The custom background should be white, and then we can push create. Okay, so now that we have our white square, we're going to fill that in with a background color. To do that, we're going to use the paint bucket tool and to go to the color picker to choose our background color. All right, after that, we're going to open our layers palette over here on the right. At the bottom of the layers palette, we're going to go to make a new blank layer. It is just to the left of the trash can. It's called create a new layer. There we go. You'll get the new layer that has the white and gray checkerboard. Okay, so for this, I'm going to push Command 0 to make it fit the screen here. For this design, first we're going to start with our paintbrush tool here, and we're going to go up to the options and use a hard round brush. Okay, I'm going to make the brush pretty small, maybe at about 10 pixels. The mode should be on normal, the opacity at 100%, and the flow at 100%. Okay, now I'm going to choose a contrasting color to my blue. Okay, and I think I'm going to go with the complementary color, which is orange. Okay, so what I would like to do is up in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to create a little module or a little design. It should be asymmetrical, not the same on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to use lines and dots and, possibly you can use shapes, okay, but mostly I'm going to be using lines. Okay, so I'm going to start out with a dot, hold the shift key to make a straight line. One. Now if I could do, shapes, if I wanted to, do it like this, okay. I'm not going to fill it in because I want them to, I want the lines to all overlap. Okay, so I've made this triangle. Now I'm going to make a curvy line, looks like an arrow. I'm going to use the bracket tool to make my brush a little bit bigger and a little smaller. I'm going to make some dots that get smaller and smaller as I go. Okay, and now I'm going to put a thinner line in here. Okay, maybe I'm going to switch to another color. I'm going to switch to a green. Okay, and going to add some other lines in. Maybe repeat some of the dot patterns, but going the opposite way. Okay, and I'm going to switch back to my orange by using the eyedropper tool so I get the exact same orange. Okay, and go back to the brush tool and finish it off with a few more orange elements here. Maybe I'll put some more dots in here. So you're just creating a little design. You can do whatever you like. Again, I would keep it as a line design because we're going to be using it to create a pattern and the lines will overlap. Okay, so I've created my design here and it's on its own layer. What I'm going to do next is duplicate that layer. So I'm going to take the layer, drag it down to the make a new layer, and now it is duplicated. I can't see it because it's directly behind the other one. Next, we go up to the menu bar at the top here. Go to Edit, Transform, and we're going to go in the flyout menu to flip horizontal. Okay, when we do this, we're going to get a duplicate, but a mirror image of the pattern that we created. And you can kind of move this around horizontally. Keep it horizontal until you find a pattern that you like. It can be, again, this should just be kind of an abstract pattern. Let's see here. I think I'm going to go line up those circles maybe. Sorry. I'm going to go maybe with this. Okay. All right. So next, I am going to hold my Shift key and click on the top layer, hold the Shift key, click on the bottom layer so that those two are together. Okay, I'm actually going to merge those two together. I'm going to go with Layer, and I'm going to go with Merge Layers. Now those layers have become one layer. Okay, so I'm going to put that right about here, and I'm going to repeat it again and move it over. Now I have to keep in mind, I'm going to try to keep my pattern lined up at the top and bottom. There we go, that's pretty good. Now I'm going to click on the top one, hold the Shift key, and I'm going to duplicate those two. Oops. Okay, and now that I'm going to try that again. Duplicate. All right, I'm going to take it off auto select. That's what the problem was. Move it down. Now I have to try to make it look just like the other one. So I'm looking at the spaces between these two shapes here, the two circles. Okay. And I'm going to do this one more time, duplicate, and move over. And again, line it up the same way and line it up top to bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go up to the top, hold the Shift key, click on the bottom one, and I'm going to go to Layer and Merge Layers. Okay, This is going to just make it a little easier to bring it and line it up. I'm going to put the lines up at the top and make sure on both sides that an equal amount of the circles look like they're in the same place. Okay, so I've got that one made. I take the top layer now, duplicate it, and I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Flip Vertical. Okay, and I'm going to move this down. And I have to decide how much I want them to overlap. I'm going to move it down right about there. And the nice thing about it, you know, the more you do, the less work you have to do, because now I can go to the top layer, hold the Shift key, duplicate both of them, and at this point all I have to do is keep moving them down and lining them up. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to duplicate one more time. And some of it's going off the edge, but try to line it up just like the ones above it are lined up. Okay, there I have my pattern. I'm going to next go to Layer, Flatten Image, and I can add the word pattern, or the title of it. So I'm going to add a text layer. I'm going to highlight it and find a font I like a little bit better. I want something nice and, you know, a thicker kind of lettering. There we go. All right, maybe I'll go with that one. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to change the color. Let's see. Maybe to a darker blue. Let's see how that looks. Okay, if I want it to stand out a little bit more, another thing I can do is go to the Layers palette here, double click, and I can go with, this is a layer style. I can go with something called Stroke. And right now it's set on black. I can set it on, yeah, I think black is good. Or I can set it on a dark blue or dark orange. Let's try that. Nah, not liking that. Okay, I think I'm going to go back to black. Okay, and then I can make the black thinner or thicker. Okay, and there we go. All right, I can go ahead and flatten it again. Command 0 or Command minus, I'm going to add the white border just like we did before in our Elements book. So I'm going to go to Image, Canvas Size, change this to inches. I don't need the black border because it's got color right up to the edge. So I'm going to go with 0.5, 0.5, and then I can add the border as well. Canvas size, 5, 5, make it black. Okay. All right, and now I'm going to save it, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. Well, I'm saving it on my cloud right now, so I'll push save. Okay, and it is ready to go. So thank you very much. Hope you create a really cool pattern. Bye.